Firstly, let me apologize to everyone I have encountered along the way. I am greatly sorry, and for those that have been with me through thick, through thin, and still been by my side, thank you. I applaud you. So, here it goes. Don't worry, I'm looking down at my notebook so I can remember what I'm saying because naturally I'm a very shy, timid woman. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nahx'Ryene. Yes, you may look at the spelling and think, how on earth do I pronounce that? And it is Nahx'Ryene. And so, welcome to my channel and my first ever video. I would like you all to come with me on my journey as I first help you get to know who I am. And where do we begin? Well, like most great stories, they seem to start like at the current present. Those who know me and have followed up until now, obviously, this point, and hopefully further, know me as Christina, among other names I have also gone by. A name like my first dead name, which was given to me by my mother, who I love with my heart and soul. The first ever role model to ever enter my life, obviously, but I entered hers. So um, uh, and she is also one of very, very few women I aspire to be as great as one day. Just a little side note, a lot of you are probably used to seeing me with such extravagant hair and luscious makeup, but I thought since this is my first video and since I'm bearing my soul to you, you may as well see what I look like underneath all that makeup. As I've stated before, I have gone by other names and they were always legal. I've never done anything illegal per se, other than certain occurrences, but that's neither here nor there. So, as I said earlier, Nahx'Ryene for me at the moment is going to be how I will introduce myself on this channel. It's going to be the name of this channel and how I'd like to be referred to in social media. Thank you. I am, of course, a woman of transgender experience, or a transgender woman. This is why I'm looking quite the way I look right now. And I'm currently in the beginning stages of transitioning, albeit a bit late in life, but better late than never. And I am deeply appreciative of the love and support from everyone I hold dear. Honestly, I started transitioning quite some time ago, and it was like probably about 12 to 13 years that I started mentally transitioning. Excuse me, sorry, got drinks. Squash and a cup of coffee. No alcohol for me. I've stopped doing alcohol for quite some time now, and I'm actually happier for it. But I'll have the odd glass and the odd tickle. But from an early age, I knew something was different about me. I know I just managed to jump from one subject to another, but as you get to know me, you'll find out I can do that when nothing's properly structured, even though I have my notes. Right, so in this sense, this was definitely what I wanted and needed, this transitioning to be who I am. But unfortunately, I kept consistently and inadvertently hindering my transitioning, finding excuses or putting up obstacles in the way as to why I shouldn't or cannot. And now I finally put an end to that, and here we are today. But the hindrance used to come through like emotional instability, homelessness, financial instability, bad relationships, or though I do, but don't blame them completely because I know I'm not an easy person to live with. I used to have, I've lonely recently learned to be able to enjoy my own company that bit more rather than feel lonely about it. Sometimes it's a combination of a couple, a few, and sometimes it was all of the above. Relationships, we've already discussed that one. Um, but yeah, no, actually, though, during the relationships, they didn't actually last long because deep down I knew that I wasn't being the true me, and each time I tried to be the true me, it felt like I couldn't because the partner I was with feared it, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings because of it. So, yeah, but it wasn't so much of a secret because I kept it hidden in plain sight, which I lately discovered a handful of people actually knew without me saying anything. So, for those I really do applaud. Thank you. Um, and I do hope they are watching this. I really do. Now, from as far back as I can remember, I had always found myself gravitating towards feminine people and dated quite a few tomboys, for a better term, which I may press on another video. Because of my childhood issues, I chose to put on a protective masculine role, even though I also had that bit of femininity to me. But I didn't want any harm coming to any of my friends. They looked up to me. Some of them looked up to me as a mother figure, but I convinced myself they were looking up to me like a big brother or a father role. But again, the childhood issues. We'll get into that another time. Um, but through it all, I was still able to stay true to myself. And I adored when they decided or chose or asked to put makeup on me, and it was like, yay, yay, one of the girls. Don't get me wrong, from the age of 18, I identified as a goth, and what better reason to wear makeup? So, but no, I couldn't ask for anything better, to be honest. I was constantly expressive with my makeup, and even though I had a lot of people come to me thinking I was hiding behind the makeup, when in fact I was actually hiding behind my beard. Oh well, but I've always had criticism for it. I've been in awe of it, and I actually started doing it from the age of 18. But I ended up stopping it because of employment that kind of prohibited it. Said, oh, you can't be as expressive because it could scare some of the children or some of the customers. And it's like, excuse me, I walk around the street looking like this, and not once have I scared anyone, you know? In my early 20s, I attended college in which I studied a BTEC National Diploma in Graphics and Illustrations. I do love drawing. I do love painting. I love anything artistic. That includes poetry and music. Hopefully, I get to show you some soon, or you can go visit like my Facebook profile, my DeviantArt, Instagram, wherever my art seems to be laying around these days. Um, they tend to document my life, but yet again, people see the aesthetic and take the aesthetic for their own interpretation, which art is expressive down to interpretation or on a personal level. But for the artist, there's always going to be that deeper meaning. During college, I met so many brilliant and amazing people. We're in college, out of college, students, non students. They helped me through the mental transition more than they realize. They, because they accepted me for the person I am, regardless of whether they were masculine. Because I actually did find out I had some masculine male friends. They made me feel protected. They made me feel safe. And during college, though, the group of girls I used to be around, they ended up nicknaming me Josephine because of how feminine I was, and I loved it. And I'm starting. I think I did tell one or two of them that I do plan on transitioning one day, and if I did, I hope they tell me. My late 20s and early 30s, can't remember exactly when, I ended up acquiring the title of cowboy because of my attire, which was very like dark old west. So black cowboy hat, black jacket, everything black. Barely a different colour. I used to have a feathered earring. Uh, Miss those, I really do miss those, I really do. um, and that was all because of one special young lady that I never dated but saw like a little sister. For a dark time in my life, she had always been my light. And yeah, but they know who they are. Thank you very much. But it does become overwhelming so much that I end up fearing that I will eventually hurt them. And that's not just that one person, I'm talking about everyone I hold dear and that I cherish. But I'll give them credit where credit is due. They are tougher than I first thought. Most have stayed in contact and are also some of my biggest supporters. I love you all. None now. None. Where did that come from? Now, at the filming of this video, I am employed as a hotel receptionist in which I am part of an amazing team. Without them, the hotel probably would have gone south a long time ago. And how they put up with me, I do not know. Few offer such great support, such amazing advice that we are all like a well-oiled machine. Um, I need to learn to talk from my head rather than from my throat. um, so yeah, even though some think that I can do everything by myself, I really couldn't. I and I don't think they really realize how much I appreciated and valued every single one of them. But more so, my manager, whom has been a hella huge support and a hella huge light at the end of the tunnel for me. She has become a very valued friend and very much like a big sister. I convinced myself that she was like my little sister, but little did she know I was looking up to her. I aspired to be like her. Not to be her, but just like her. She has so much strength, so much prowess that you'd be a fool not to look up to her. How? See this hairband here? When I finally came out properly, it was a gift from her, and I treasure it with all my heart. Um, they have, she has been there from the very beginning, and I told her from the beginning of my job that one day I will be transitioning and I'm going to need her help because I'm going to struggle. And they wonder why I find it difficult to never listen to her. It's like, come on, if I don't listen to you, I'm going to screw it all up. So, yeah, now she's the big sister I've dreamt of and always wanted. Through all that time, I started and became mentally transitioned, though began trying to socially transition about 5, 6 years ago, in which I started living more like a woman through better self care for my skin, for my health, my diet, been exercising a lot more, and actually realizing that I had more of a very female aspect of life than I ever gave myself credit for. But yet again, getting into a relationship was not the best idea, especially when they had no idea of the personal punishments and torture I was putting myself through from childhood. They made me feel like that only for them to care about me, provided I still had in place the things I felt dysphoric about, but we will touch on that on another video. And it did kind of long out the process more than I wanted, and thanks to my manager, I've been able to get out of it and actually start being me. I had to make a stand, a change. I needed out of the vicious cycle I kept putting myself through. This began late August 2020 during the pandemic when I ordered my first dress, which, yes, I still have this in my wardrobe. And I would also like to address that I did actually present female on two other occasions prior to this, and that was at a fancy masquerade and a gig that one of my bands performed. I say my band, again, when I say my, I don't classify that as I have ownership over it, but it's for the fact I was part of it. Whenever I say my something, it tends to mean I'm a part of it. And yeah, I dressed as a woman and I actually really enjoyed myself. I was actually at my happiest, and I've always tried to regain that sense of happiness back ever since. But hidden in plain sight, they still wanted to perceive me as a man, and it was a bit disheartening at times. So, but I got myself through it. So yeah, I noticed back to when I started presenting female. I also ordered hormones and T blockers, and within the first month, I did notice changes, which is bizarre because I don't think you're supposed to. But through it all, I felt how feminine I was becoming. I started feeling happier within myself that the masculinity was slowly fading away. Even though for a lot of you probably see this and probably think, oh, really? Trust me, guys, you don't know how bad I look to myself, at least. The beard helped shape my jaw a little bit more feminine in a sense. Um, but yeah, talking about the dysphoria, I really, really cannot wait for the surgeries. It's taken its toll on my mental health so much that I do struggle going out socially sometimes, but I'm getting through it one step at a time, day by day, especially with help from all those I cherish. The love and support I have acquired from them is so great. And apologies for how my voice keeps going up and down, up and down. It's trying to maintain a voice. It's a struggle for me, but I'm getting there. It's down to nervousness. So, as I said, first video, bear with me. So, and with that, my little starlings, was a summary of my life ish. And what can you expect from this channel? I would like to say we'll be digging more into like my interests and what I enjoy doing, and we'll see on how we could adhere it to maybe you if you have an interest in it as well. For the fact there will be more stories of my life, tales of my transition, um, makeup and fashion advice, tips, and probably just show you what I enjoy, and we can see how you can apply it to yourself. There'll be a look into art and the history of some of my personal favorites, and maybe a glimpse of some of my own art, some cooking and culinary advice, and maybe the odd personal recipe of mine. And of course, there will be some Q&A where you get to ask me questions and I'll answer to the best I can. And from there, we will see where we go. I do have many more interests, and I've got to just learn not to overdo it, not to overwhelm myself or encumber myself or to stretch myself thin, because we all know where that's going to lead me. So for now, farewell. I am Nahx'Ryene, and welcome to my channel. Stay true to yourself and treat every day like a great day, because in the end, you are great and you are in it. Ciao.